Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be sharing a really simple, lovely recipe for homemade laundry liquid, or like a liquid laundry detergent for washing clothes and linens and things using homemade bar soap. So I've got a couple of recipes on this channel for laundry style bar soap. There's two, I'll put links to those below, or you can just search them on the channel. And for years I've been making a dry version of this recipe. Some of you might have seen it. That's also on the channel. It's called DIY laundry powder granules or something like that. I'll put a link to it. I've only got a teeny tiny little bit of it left to show you. Basically it's just this laundry soap ground up with washing soda, and it works really, really well. But I've been wanting to try a liquid version of this to use my handmade laundry soap for a while, and one of my lovely members, hi Gail if you're watching, from my membership group, she asked me about this and I was just about out of this, so I thought it's perfect timing. I've got to make the liquid version. So it is a really simple recipe. It is literally 3 ingredients. Homemade, it has to be homemade bar laundry soap, washing soda, which is sodium carbonate, and water. That's it. You can make similar recipes to this using commercially made laundry soap, but they do require a different formula. Laundry soap that's made in a factory is made using a really different process than a homemade cold processed or hot processed soap recipe, and they're much more concentrated. Homemade soap has more glycerin, more water. They're just a different style of soap recipe. So they're less concentrated, so you need less of them per the amount of water. I actually have a recipe here. I went back and found this in my folder. It's called Ellie's Laundry Gel. And I made it years ago using Sunlight soap, which is a really well-known laundry soap here in Australia. And it calls for 10 litres of water with 1 bar of Sunlight soap with washing soda, borax and a little bit of glycerin. That worked really well. I did make a couple of big buckets of it and used it. But just to show you that that recipe uses 10 litres of water with 1 bar of Sunlight soap. This recipe, to make this is 2 litres, which is half a gallon. That takes 2 bars of homemade soap. 2 bars of homemade soap with 2 litres or half a gallon of water, compared to 1 bar of Sunlight soap and 10 litres of water. So it just goes to show you the difference. The actual process of making this is really, really easy. But when I actually filmed this video on Friday, it's now Monday, I'm doing a complete retake of it, because while my test batches worked out great and I got these lovely laundry liquid soaps, nice and transparent out of it, when I did the video batch on Friday, I ended up with a gel, and I could not understand why. I was really surprised, and it just didn't work with the video because I was trying to make a liquid. So I spent some time on the weekend figuring out what actually makes the difference. So it turns out that you can make this recipe 2 ways using 2 different processes, and you can get 2 different results. They both work. They're exactly the same ingredients. It just depends on which one you want to make because of your particular situation and which one you like better. This gel one is, it's a consistency that you can scoop it out, whereas the liquid version is truly a nice liquid. It's just like a liquid soap, so you can pour it. So it just depends on whether you want to pour or scoop. I will show you how to make the pourable method because I think that's probably what most people want. So I'll get into the recipe and show you how to do it. It really is easy. It takes about 5 minutes. And I'll talk you through how to make the different versions. And then I'll take you down to the laundry and I'll show you how I use it. And I want to give you some tips too. So if you can hang around to the end, I'll try not to make the video too long, but I will go through all of that with you briefly as well. So to make 2 litres or half a gallon of this liquid laundry detergent, you need 2 bars of homemade laundry soap. I'm holding up 4 here because I want to tell you there's a couple of different types you can make, and I've got both of these recipes on my channel. One is just my original. This one's 50% coconut oil and 50% rice bran oil. That's a really good general sort of laundry soap. That's great, but it's got no citric acid in it. It's fine, you can use it, but if you've got one, this recipe is kind of similar. It's 50% coconut oil as well, but it's got other oils. It has some citric acid formulated into the recipe. So if you can, try and use a formula with citric acid in it. And that helps a lot, especially if you're in a hard water area. But you only need 2. And honestly, as long as it's a low superfat or a 0 superfat soap that is designed for cleaning, like something that's really high in coconut oil, that would be the way to go. Then you can use any that you like. I'm going to use these 2 citric acid bars because I think they're ideal for it. And all you do is grate them up and put them in a pot. I have to stand on my tiptoes to be able to do this. I'm so short. You could use a food processor to grate this if you wanted to, but just for 2 bars, I find it pretty easy to use a box grater. Get a bit of a workout while you're making your laundry soap. This soap looks a bit wonky because it was made with a hot process. I used up all my nice ones in the first time I filmed this video. So I was onto the not so nice looking ones, but that's okay. Once you have grated your soap, get a saucepan. It's okay to use one that you cook with. Just make sure it's nice and clean and make sure that it can hold 2 litres or half a gallon. Whoops, and put all of your soap in there. Okay, so 2 bars of soap into the pot. I should tell you my soap bars are about 120 grams each. So you want roughly about 240 grams of your grated homemade laundry soap in your pot. Then to that, we're going to add 1 cup of washing soda. So washing soda, this is Electric brand. This is the one that we have fairly readily available in the supermarkets here in Australia. Washing soda is sodium carbonate. It is different to sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. So you want washing soda, not baking soda. Baking soda doesn't have the same pH. It's a different chemical than washing soda, and washing soda just does a better job. So this one, it says on the front, household cleaner, detergent booster, and water softener. Some recipes for these homemade soaps also use borax, but and I have added borax in the past, but I don't have any borax, and I tested this just with washing soda, and I honestly think you could probably use borax instead of this if you had it, but do your own research. Personally, I think you only need the soap and the washing soda. That has worked for me for years with the dry version of this, but you know, you can do a bit more digging around that topic if you really want to use borax. So 1 cup of washing soda with your 2 bars of grated soap. Pop that in, and to that you add 8 cups of water, which is 2 litres or roughly 2 quarts. So 2 bars of soap, 1 cup of washing soda, 8 cups of water. This is 2 litres, which is the same as 8 cups, metric cups. Don't worry if you're not using metric cups. They're very, very close, and this doesn't have to be super precise. Close enough is good enough for this recipe. Once you've got your little laundry soap soup happening, take it to the stove, and we're just going to melt it all together. All you want to do with this is heat it until the soap has melted. That's all it is. I like to start it on fairly high heat just to speed up the process. But make sure you watch it. It's a fast process. It only takes probably 5 minutes. And the washing soda is on the bottom, so just give it a bit of a stir. The washing soda will dissolve quite quickly. The soap will take a little bit longer. While I'm waiting for this soap to melt, I'll just turn the heat down to medium so I don't get any overflows. You got to watch this. And I'll just tell you how you can make the gel version. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a real kind of funny, sloppy, scoopy jelly texture, which I think for some people might be easier to handle in terms of measuring it out. It's harder to spill a gel than it is to spill a liquid. The way that I made this into a gel form was by just melting the soap in 2 cups of water and then dissolving the washing soda in the remaining 6 cups of water just at room temperature. So I had a bucket and I put 6 cups of water in the bucket, just room temperature water, and I added the washing soda to that, melted that, and then once my soap was melted separately, I added that to that cold mixture and it formed the gel. Whereas if you cook the whole lot together like this on the stovetop, you will get a nice clear liquid. It was so funny because the test batches I made that came out as a liquid, I had made the whole process a little bit hotter. I had used hot water for the washing soda and I'd melted the soap on the stove and I added them all together while they were pretty hot and it came out as a liquid. And then for the video, I thought, oh, I'll just put the washing soda into room temperature water. You know, it won't make any difference. But it did. The room temperature process for the dissolving the washing soda made a massive difference. If you want to use the gel, I would suggest doing it that way and pouring it into an open container of some sort that you can scoop the soap out of. And that's a nice, really easy way to use a gel, like a bucket or an old ice cream container or something like that. This is something else cool to show you. It just goes to show that you can turn this back into a gel after it's been a liquid by refrigerating it. And then once you take it out of the refrigerator, once it has gelled, it won't really go back to liquid again. It's not quite the same color, it's not the same gel consistency, but playing around with the temperature of this does definitely change it back into that gel. See how it kind of looks like, I don't know, it looks like jelly, doesn't it? So that was a liquid one that I put into the fridge for an hour or so. It went really white, like a gel, like that, but more sort of solid and less bubbly. That one's only bubbly because I've stirred it. But this one went solid white gel, perfect. But because it's hot weather here at the moment, it's summertime, it has started to melt a little bit. Whereas this one has stayed jelly. So if it never actually gets to that liquid state first, it will stay in a gel state. Whereas this one was made with the hot process to be liquid, and then I put it in the fridge to gel it, and it's almost stayed a gel. It's kind of half and half, this one. So I've turned off the heat now. The soap has completely melted and I've got a lovely, gorgeous, clear liquid. All I need to do now is let it cool off. Once the soap has cooled completely, this is the fresh one, it's still hot, but once it's cooled completely down to room temperature, just pour it into a jug like this, and then you can pour it into your storage jug. I'll just show you this soap. It's amazing just to see how thick and viscous it is. It's amazing stuff. This is from one of the other test batches I made on the weekend. It has got a really nice, thick sort of pouring consistency. It's beautiful. Anyway, and I made this on Saturday and it has not gelled. It has not gelled at all. It has stayed liquid, and that's because I made it using the hot process. Whereas this one, where I made with the cold water and the washing soda, that has stayed as a gel even in our hot weather. So all you do is, once it's cool, pour it from your pot into a smaller jug that you can pour from, and just pour it into your bottle. This is just a half batch that I made, so it's only one litre. I should say too, even though this looks like a gorgeous liquid soap that you could use for many things, don't use it for showering or washing your hands. Just use this for laundry. This is my big collection of it that I've got so far, and you can see I've written on here, laundry only. I wouldn't use this to wash your hands. It will be extremely drying. The recipe is designed for washing clothes and linens, not for washing skin. It is a higher pH than normal liquid soap. If you're looking for a liquid soap recipe for hand washing, check out my 100% olive oil or my 100% rice bran oil liquid soap recipes on this channel. They are both really fantastic and gentle. They're nothing like this. This one's just for laundry. To add essential oils to this, like I did with this one, you can see I've used some of this over the weekend. I would add essential oils to this liquid laundry soap at a rate of 1%. So for 2 litres, that is 20 grams. And for this batch, I used lemon and basil because I just wanted to use them up. And citrus oils don't go very well in bar soap recipes, so they're great to use up in liquid preparations. But just be aware that, look how runny this one is. Depending on the essential oils that you add to this soap, some of them will make it more runny. You can see this one that I just poured out is a lot thicker. This one with it's the lemon citrus essential oils will always make these soaps go really runny. So just be prepared for that if you want to add any citrus oils. It smells amazing. I think it was 15 grams of lemon oil and 5 grams of basil. So mostly lemon, just to make up the 20 grams of essential oil. I will have all the details for this in the written write-up that I will put on my website, and I'll have a link to that below. So if you want to get all those details, you can. Well, this is a bit revealing. I don't think I've ever shown doing laundry on YouTube before, but I thought I'd show you how I actually use my homemade laundry soap. I've just got some really light white things and linens that I want to wash today. I did try out this lemon and basil version of this laundry liquid on the weekend. I washed our towels, some of which have seen better days. And they're actually hanging up there. I've got a line that goes up and down on a pulley. And they came out really good. They smell great. Amazing. I've had no troubles at all with this. And I guess I just want to say a couple of things about DIY laundry products. I haven't had any problems with them at all. I think some people do, but I sometimes wonder over, the course of a few years whether or not you're especially towels. People talk about towels not absorbing water anymore and things like that. I don't have any trouble at all with mine. And I have been using the dry version of this for years, and this liquid version, it's the same ingredients. It seems to work. I think it's important that you use the right amount. Dosage is important. The other thing too is it really depends on your washer. This is an Asko, which is a Swedish brand front loader washer. It's a very efficient machine. It doesn't use much water. It uses lots of agitation, and so the clothes sort of rub. I'm going to fall over here. The clothes kind of rub against each other. Rip. Oh God, Ellie's everyday bloopers. The clothes rub on each other really well, and everything has come out really great. I have no troubles at all, and I'm pretty fussy. This is a very rustic laundry, and I live in a very sort of simple little old home here in Brisbane. But I am fussy about my white duvet cover and my white t-shirts. I want them to be white. I like things to come out clean. So it does work for me. One big tip I would say is to make sure that you are using a cycle that is appropriate for the type of washing that you want to do. So for example, if with my towels, I keep looking up there because they're hanging above me. If I wash them on the everyday cycle or the quick cycle, like there's different versions on here, After a while, they won't be as clean, but I need to run them, especially towels, because they get all that build up from body grime. They need to be washed on a proper, full, normal cycle. You could use hot water if you wanted to. You don't have to use hot water, but they need to be run through on an appropriate cycle. So I've got a reasonably full load there. I usually just sort of judge how much I need depending on the load that I've got. So I've got these 2 scoops that I use. This is 30 milliliters. I used to use a sort of rounded scoop of the dry stuff. But for this liquid preparation, I would use more because it is more diluted than the dry version. On the weekend, I had a really, really big load of towels with some sheets, and the towels needed a really good wash. So I used a full half cup. But this is a reasonably high capacity washer, and it was pretty chockers. So I used a half a cup and they came out great on a normal cycle. But this load isn't quite as big. So I'm going to, sorry, this is very unscientific, but it does require a little bit of trial and error. I'm going to use about 1/3 of a cup, but I'm just going to guess how much that is in this measure. Whoa, I reckon that's plenty. Pour that in there. See how runny that is? That's the one with the lemon and the basil essential oils. If you didn't have the essential oils, that would be a lot thicker. And this is my fabric softener. It's so special. It's 50% vinegar and 50% water. Very, very simple. Some people use straight vinegar. I like to cut mine with water, and I just put that, sorry, I'm trying to do this so you can see it, in my fabric softener compartment. Very simple. Shut the door. And I'm just going to do I am going to do just an everyday wash cycle for this, but I'm going to turn up the heat to 40 degrees to make it warm. Start. All right, we'll have clean clothes. And I thought while I'm here, I'll show you my washing line. So these are the towels I washed on the weekend and the sheet. This is my pulley system that comes up off the roof. And I've got a pulley rigged up there. So I lower it down to hang the washing out, and then I pull it up to let it dry, and the beautiful breeze comes in the window there, and it dries the clothes. Look at them blowing in the wind. I love that. That makes me really happy. Oh, my dad helped me make that years ago. Anyway, there it is, a little bit of a Ellie's laundry tour. I think that's enough for now. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to leave it there. I'm actually sweating. It's turning into a really hot day. It's about 1 o'clock now. I hope this video was informative and useful for you, and you have a go at making this laundry liquid. I really, really like it. I think I may not even go back to the dry version. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And just a quick plug too, if you're interested in having a bit more connection and support with me around your soap making or your sourdough bread making, come and join my membership group. It's really affordable. It's through the Buy Me a Coffee platform, and I do a fortnightly podcast there, which it's just exclusive for members, and I answer your questions and talk through all sorts of stuff. So thanks everyone. I'll see you again soon. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye. No suds. No bubbles. It's very low sudsing. Do I look like the Queen with this haircut? I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I really need it. Every time I see myself, I feel like maybe I look a bit like the Queen. Oh dear.